I'm your host, John. On today's episode, we're going to be discussing fighting off distractions. And I think this kind of ties in quite nicely with the last kind of couple of episodes, and especially what I've been going through in my personal life. And that is this world of distractions that we live in. I mean, if it's not media or social media, it's movies and music and fashion and sports. I can't even list all of the levels or formats of distractions that are out there that seem to be simply put out there to stop people being productive with their lives. I mean, I'm not trying to discredit anybody's work within those industries. By all means, do what you want to do and do what makes you happy, but not at everybody else's expense. Like, I think it's very much clear that we live in a consumer's world, that everything is constantly pushed at you. Everybody wants to sell you something or wants your attention or your information in one regard or another. But that all complicates life, which we don't really need to be happy, in my opinion. Like, we've existed for thousands of years without a lot of the stuff that people deem they need to be happy these days. People still live without these things today and they're happy. But you're convinced that you need these things in your life. If you don't see the latest film or have the latest product or you're part of the latest trend, that you're less than others or you're left behind. And don't get me wrong, there are areas in life that you can get left behind in, but these ones ain't the important ones. When we're living in times of financial crisis, what does it matter if you've seen the latest movie in the cinemas? When people are struggling to feed their kids, what's it matter who's in the charts? When people are struggling to get off the streets in major parts of the world, what does it matter that you ain't got the latest fashion on? Like, all of these things that are perpetuated to us, they're not to benefit us, they're to benefit somebody else. And that person that benefits, very few of them pay it back in a way that's going to change the world for the better. I mean, let's be a bit on the nose here. The amount of currency and wealth out there in the world, yet there's still all of these problems. The amount of money that is spread between these corporations and countries and companies in the trillions, yet there's still people struggling to put food in their belly on a regular basis. That is a sad truth in the world, and we're constantly distracted from it. Like, how much money has gone into the latest blockbuster movie compared to how much money has directly gone into feeding people that are struggling to feed themselves? People rush into the cinema to see that movie and spend their hard-earned money on tickets to support a movie that really and truly has no significant impact on the world other than entertainment. And yes, entertainment is nice, but much like anything, it comes down to moderation. Too much entertainment and everything else gets neglected. We can't keep neglecting ourselves and our lives and our way of life for this instant gratification and immediate satisfaction that entertainment and all of these services provide. Like, I was born in the 90s, and for some people that may sound old. For others, I may sound young. But I at least got to witness a bit of a simpler time where everything wasn't so rush. Like, everyone these days is in a massive hurry to get nowhere. Like, all of these people that are speeding down the streets, rushing around, cutting people up, cramming in on trains and buses and this, that, and everything else, just rushing through life like proverbial ants. If you was to actually stop them and ask them why they do it, a lot of them fail to have reason, especially significant reason. Like, how many people are doing it simply to survive? Not for anything beyond that, but they're just trying to get by in life. Like, that's the world that we live in, of a bunch of people not living life, but just trying to survive life. People that don't work to live, they live to work. That's all they have time for, and all they do with their time is work and consume. And they're stuck in this endless cycle of suffering and then plastering the cracks with instant gratification or indulging in one vice or another. Now, we're all entitled to our rest and our relaxation and a bit of indulgence here and there. But too much of anything is bad. You have too much water, you'll drown in your own body. Like, too much oxygen, you'll die. Like, there's so many instances that show us that moderation is the key in life. Most things are possible in moderation. But once there's an imbalance, once there's a point where you're sacrificing one thing in order to have another, i.e. you're sacrificing your sleep in order to have a bit of time to yourself because you're so overworked, well, that imbalance isn't going to create for a happy person. Like, there are some people that will do this and they may still be happy because they're doing it for a worthy cause. They may be going without sleep because they have children and they're working 2 jobs because they want to provide a good life for them. Hats off to them. But this is the reality of the world that we live in. That's what people have to go through just to provide a decent quality of life for people. Because so many people are struggling. And I think it's about time that we all woke up to this struggle and realized that we are in this together. And as much as it can seem lonely, as much as it can seem like all of your battles are just you against the world, when you actually open your eyes and step beyond just yourself, I'd put money on the fact that a lot more of the world are by your side than you think. The world is a big place, and it's full of a lot of positive people. A lot of people that want good in life. A lot of people that want to see the goodness in the world. But unfortunately, the light hasn't been shone on them lately. And I think it's down to us to do that. To shine the light on the good in the world. To shine the light on the positivity that is out there. Not for benefit, not for profit, but to better everyone, to better the life that we lead and to better the type of world that we're in. At the end of the day, we are all responsible for this world. At the time that we are in it, it is our responsibility. We cannot control what comes before us. We cannot control what comes after us. But while we're here, is it not our responsibility to take care of it and to try to leave it in the best condition possible? Like, when you look at how humans live in the world compared to how animals and the rest of nature live in the world, there is a massive disconnect between us and them. yet we consider ourselves superior? I don't think so. I think if we was to actually pay a bit more attention to how the world in itself works, we would be shockingly educated on a lot of life. I'm going to leave it there for this one. The seed for this episode is try and shine the light on something positive. It's easy for bad news to travel, but share something good. If you thought about somebody because you see something, or somebody brightened your day, or any form of positivity you can share it. Or anything positive that somebody else has done that you see, share it, shine the light on it, get behind it. Because there are so many people perpetuating the negative, we need twice as many people perpetuating the positive. We can turn this around, but it's down to all of us. The more people that band together, the more people that wake up and try to make the world a good place, the better the world will become. All the best, and I'll catch you on the next one.